Hey everybody, my name's Gene and I'm a graphic designer and illustrator. I've been working in the industry for about 15 years and today we're going to discuss some cool things. Alright, so one of the cool things that you can make with paper is a die. It's just a simple cube with some numbers on it, and we're going to start out like I start off most of my paper folding things, with a cube. I like to keep everything simple shapes. So I've already gridded this out, and you want to have essentially a 12 square grid. You got 3 by 4. 3 by 4, okay. Usually I would just start folding this. I'd fold it in half and then I'd fold each of the halves in half, but I want to do it a little differently today because, as you may or may not be able to see, I have a little bit thicker paper. This is poster board, so the reason I did it this way is because I'm going to score the paper, and that's how I'm going to get my folds. Now I'm also going to be taking some of this paper off, which we'll show you that in just a second. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is figure out where I don't need paper, because ultimately die is only 6 sides, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are going to be the ones we're using. You could go crazy and use pretty much any of these sides as long as they're attached in a straight line somehow. So what do we need? I'm going to cut off 2 squares of this far side, and then I'm going to cut off 2 squares of this side. I'm going to do one of these crossways. I'm going to do one of these, and then the only reason I'm doing this is so I have something to attach everything to later on. I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the opposite side. Actually, I probably should have come in from a little further. There we go. It still attaches just fine. We'll go across, and then we'll get our diagonal. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just going to do a diagonal first, and then we'll do about a half a square. I'm using a gridded poster board, so I have my measurements right on the board. I just darkened the lines that we're actually cutting along with a marker so you can see what we're doing. Here we go. There we go. Now before I get started, I'm going to draw all of the numbers on here, and the one thing that you have to understand is every 3 away is an opposite side. So this is the top, this is the bottom, left, right, and then front and back. So we're going to go 6, and then opposite the 6 is the 1. We're going to go 2, and opposite 2 is the 3, and then we're going to go 4, and opposite the 4 is the 5. And you can do anything you want here. You can draw little pictures or put little skull and crossbones or little apples or whatever you want. Now, to the scoring. I'm actually going to use a straight edge for this, which I'm just going to go along my cutting surface just to make it so that it's a little more even. And what you want to do is just lightly pull the razor across the edge. Same thing on the other side. Lightly just pull it across. And the same thing for these last 2 lines here. Actually, that's a lie. They're not the last 2. We still have this one in the center. I'm going to pull this across and pull this one across. And then I'm just going to freehand this one because I'm crazy that way. There you go. Now all that's left to do is fold. So I forgot to pull this one out. Okay, so first let's fold each of the flaps so that the flaps are all back. And we're going to use these flaps to attach everything. Then we're going to start folding everything down. There we go. And actually, I'm going to cut these flaps right here entirely off. Cut this flap off because I'm going to use the ones on the side. But it's always easy to remove something. It's much more difficult to add something once you start cutting. Okay, so this is just going to work out a little easier, and we roll this up, stuff these flaps inside, and you give that a little bit of glue or a little bit of tape, and you're basically done. Bam. See, it's easier to remove. A little glue or a little tape, and now you've got yourself a 6-sided die. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope you had some fun, and I'll see you next time.